I am very honored and excited to introduce the guest speaker tonight. There are people that come into your life that make a difference forever. Blair Trousdale is one of those individuals for me. You see, when he was a student, he taught me a lot about teaching and learning, and his friendship continues to be an important part of our family's life. He grew up here in Smithville, where he attended all of his schooling and graduated with honors in 1997. He was a member of the National Honor Society. He lettered in football, basketball, golf, and baseball. He led the team to district championship in golf in 1997. You see, he participated in UIL, Debate UIL, winning first place in district in Lincoln Douglas. And then in the fall of 1997, he attended St. Edward's University on a golf and academic scholarship. He was four-time letterman in golf at St. Ed's. He's a second team all-conference in 1998 while he was there. He graduated in 2001 with a Bachelor in Business Administration, majoring in accounting. Blair began his career with Enterprise Holdings in 2002 as a management trainee in Austin. He spent 6.5 years in Austin with the company and earned 5 promotions while rising through the management training program. This led him to move with the company to the north side of Houston in 2008 as a regional sales manager. There, he helped lead his team through the trying times of 2008 and come out in a stronger than ever. His career throughout is highlighted by building a winning culture with his team, creating a fun and competitive atmosphere. You can see this high-level performance continue in Houston, with his team earning 2 consecutive Exceptional Achievement Awards, which led to the next promotion of Group Fleet Manager. This meant that in 2012, him and his family packed up and moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico with the company. He had a short 2-year stop with the company there, which allowed him to experience different cultures and a different way of life. They were able to give back into the community, where he served on the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Mexico. After rebuilding the Enterprise team there, a promotion was earned to move back to Houston in 2014 to head up the division for one of the bigger markets in the company. He was also nominated to serve on the Leadership Council for Enterprise Corporate in St. Louis to help lead directional change within the organization. Today, Blair and his family live in Woodlands area, and Blair recently celebrated his 18th year with the company. Blair continues to show dedication to the goals that he has and a direction for his future. We are so pleased to have him coming to speak to us tonight, because he is the exact model of what Smithville High School can produce.
Thank you, Ms. Burns, and good evening, Smithville Tigers. I would like to first recognize the teachers, school board, faculty, administrators, and coaches for everything you do for the students and the community. Parents, family, and 2020 graduating class, congratulations to you. I am very honored to share this evening with you. To kick things off, I have a quick story for you on Miss Burns. I had her in the 8th grade, and she was great, and probably not a surprise to any of you. By far the most demanding class I had taken to that point. I mean, who gives that much homework in junior high? She then decided to move up to 9th grade, where, yes, you guessed it, I had her once again. But as the saying goes, well, let's just say that she made me better, and I appreciate that. When I was asked to do this, I immediately started thinking about all of the great teachers, coaches, and administrators that had impacted me over the years. And I know you have so many teachers and leaders here in the school who you will remember as people that had an impact on you and made you better. I had planned on opening this up by saying 23 years ago, wow, time flies, I sat right where you are at my graduation from Smithville High. But who could have imagined that we would be doing this virtually? Whether virtual or a football stadium filled with people, know that your parents, family, and friends are as proud of you as ever. This great celebration, along with so many other things in our lives, has been impacted significantly by the coronavirus and has forced us to find new ways to do things. Before we talk about your future, I think it's important that we understand what we have gone through and are going through as a society. You are witnessing something that we have never seen in any of our lifetimes. I read an article a few weeks back in USA Today that was titled, life may change for us all. How we respond to the coronavirus crisis will be defining. The article compared significant crisis events over history, questioning whether the impact of this time compares to the '08 financial crisis, 9/11, or World War II. Or is this much more significant, like the Great Depression of the 1930s? I think there are some very important positive things left out that we will identify. I have seen most things in my daily life change as we find new ways to conduct business and activities. Everything including my Skype video meetings multiple times a day, Paula leading Zoom boot camps, and Zoom baseball practices for my sons. We've all seen businesses completely change their business model in the course of a few weeks. Those are, of course, the ones who are the most successful. You, as seniors, have had one of your most memorable years to this point, altered in ways we simply have not seen before. The final year of this chapter before you enter the real world, as they say. I'm sure that all of you have missed out on things this semester that you were really looking forward to in your final year of high school. Whether that be sports seasons, other UIL activities, or prom, just to name a few. But I'm also certain that you became creative and found ways to make different memories, and you will do that in the celebration of this big moment as well with your family and friends. And while we recognize the challenges, we must look at the positive things people are doing and acknowledge that many great ideas were discovered during times of adversity or crisis. And that, class of 2020, is what I want to talk to you about today. The real question is, how will you react to challenges? Will they hold you back as an obstacle or be something that makes you the most resilient way with people moving up through society? Will you take every challenge as an opportunity to improve? How will you innovate and find new, more efficient ways to do things? Many of you have done this already, and I've heard that Smithville as a community has stepped up to support all of you. And now, as you prepare for your next chapter, be confident that you are ready, but be prepared for obstacles because they are inevitable. What do you need to do to be successful and persevere? There are three things that I rely on and I want to share with you today before you begin your next step in your journey. 1, have a vision and commit to it. What is your vision? To this point, you've probably identified this day as something you were working toward. It was clearly defined. That changes now. You now have to create your own vision. It's not done for you. Whether your next step is college, work, or military, have some kind of vision of what's next. When I was asked to do this, I thought about how I could relate to each of you. I thought back to my experience growing up in Smithville and looked back at how that had prepared me for life. I still remember my first move away from Smithville to Austin in 1997. And let's just say it was a bit of a shock. And while I've had fun in every city I lived in, and yes, a lot of fun in Austin, there are certainly things I appreciated even more about Smithville's community once I was gone. You are all very fortunate to grow up in a special place like this, surrounded by a strong community that allows you to develop into a well-rounded person. As you witness in Smithville or see in people who come from Smithville, the choice is yours as to what you do. Do you want to be a teacher, doctor, lawyer, trade worker, serve in our great military, or run a company? I'm sure some of you are thinking, I'm still trying to figure that out. That's okay. You don't have to have your destiny 100% lined up today, but you do need to be prepared for the next step and continue to look forward. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to be when I grew up, when I sat in your seat. But I had a plan of going to college to earn a degree, and my vision continued to develop throughout. I found myself in a similar position 4 years later, when in my final year at St. Edward's University. My next step was finding a job, and I stumbled onto Enterprise. I soon realized what a special company it was, so once again I developed my vision of where I ultimately saw myself long-term and specifically 5 years out. I truly loved the ability to work with a team of people in a very competitive and fun environment. You have to decide what your vision is and commit. And whatever that is, I challenge you to think as big as you want, do something you will like, and expect to be great at whatever it is. 2, be resilient. Make no mistake about it, anything is possible, but life will present challenges. When I think back over my journey at specific roadblocks that I had to overcome, I go to August of 2008 when Paula and I decided after 6.5 years with the company to pursue our first move which was a promotion from Austin to North Houston as regional sales manager. I was very excited and anxious to lead a new team of people and settle into a new community. Within 30 days that September, we were hit with the peak of the financial crisis that crushed business like we haven't seen since the Great Depression. And in the peak of the crisis came Hurricane Ike, causing a 10-day power outage at our house and rocking the Houston area. From it all, we were forced to restructure some things at work, and I had to take a step back to the position I held in Austin. My immediate reaction was anger and some bitterness, until a mentor of mine really challenged me on my options. Quote, either quit or step up and make the most of it. Quote, with a few adjectives left out. While I don't quit, and I didn't then, I refocused on controlling what I could control, which meant staying resilient and focusing on my vision. That change in mindset propelled us forward to a strong 12-year run to where we are now, which has brought my family multiple moves and promotions, two fun and, yes, crazy boys, the opportunity to travel, and many things in my life that I'm very appreciative for. When challenges are thrown at you, the question is, how will you respond? And as is the case in anything in life, it is how you respond to challenges you face in the future that will define how you are impacted. 3, work hard. Yes, I know, I'm sure you're thinking I sound like your parents, your teachers, your coaches. There is no replacement for hard work. As you probably know, my dad and my mom's dad, Coach Stacy, were coaches. So you can imagine I heard every cliche there was about hard work at practice or at home. Let me think of a few. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Anything worth having doesn't come easy. I could go on, but you get the point. Many of which I annoyingly catch myself using on my sons frequently. My wife, in addition to having to put up with me, is also a great supporter. I remember a couple of conversations Paula and I had early in my career before we had kids, where I was making a minimal amount of money and working 60 hours a week. It was common to leave the house at 6 a.m., arrive home after 7. And we had the conversation, is this hard work going to pay off and get me to a point in my career where others won't go? And whether she thought I was somewhat crazy or very crazy, she believed in me and supported my vision. Well, I'm here to tell you, the people who have pushed you to work hard, they did it to make you better and prepare you. Whatever it is that you want, if you are truly willing to work for it, you can get it. As you move forward, doing the right thing and treating people right will serve you incredibly well. I interact with people from all walks of life and all socioeconomic statuses on a daily basis, from people who wash cars to executives. I truly feel the credit for that goes to my upbringing from my parents. Thank you, Mom and Dad, and my experiences growing up in Smithville. Thank you to the community and everyone who impacted me along the way. Those experiences taught me to treat all kinds of people the right way. You have seen so many examples, especially recently, of people doing good things for others, which is nice to see. Now, graduates, how will you continue to affect others in a positive way in your next chapter? Class of 2020, you have accomplished and endured many things to get you to this point. Remember, you will indeed encounter adversity, but if you stay focused on what you want, work extremely hard to get it, you will win in life. Thank you for allowing me to share this time with you, and congratulations 2020 Smithville Tiger graduates.